Welcome to today's segment of Opportunity Spotlight with the Discovery Pod, where we highlight incredible leadership roles with organizations in the social profit sector. Join Christoph Clodius to learn about the organization's values, culture, leadership, and more details on the role to find out if you're the right fit.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another Opportunity Spotlight podcast. I'm Christoph Clodius, Vice President of Search and Leadership Development here at the Discovery Group. And today I'm delighted to be speaking with friend of the podcast and friend of the Discovery Group, Maria Howard. And Maria is the CEO of Family Services of Greater Vancouver. Welcome, Maria.
Hi, Christoph. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Excited to be chatting with you as always. Specifically, this time around, we're going to be talking about an exciting search that we're doing together for the new Director of Development at Family Services. So let's start with a bit of context, if we may here. Tell me a bit about Family Services of Greater Vancouver. What is that you do? What does the organization do?
I love to talk about family services, so this could go on for a long time.
Okay, all right. I'll start the stopwatch then, shall I?
Yeah, Family Services of Greater Vancouver is a social service agency in the lower mainland of Vancouver, of Greater Vancouver. It really is focused on serving and supporting people who are in vulnerable situations due to trauma. And we really focus in helping those individuals who we would say are sort of the marginalized of the marginalized. And these are individuals who have had significant trauma in their lives, who really had their life really changed significantly due to that, to the point that even many of the other services in our province, government of BC, are not necessarily able to support them in the best way. And we do that in a number of different programs, working all the way from young children right up to seniors. Family Services has been around for 100 years, or almost 100 years.
Yes.
And we are super proud of that. I think many people aren't aware of Family Services, but that is because we have quietly done our work for many, many years, looking for the gaps in the services that others aren't providing, that, again, the government isn't providing, and we come in and we work with those individuals to support them in the ways that they need and really make sure we can help them have the support and the care and the resources they need to make the decisions of what they want to do. So again, we are really there to help empower people to find their voice and make the decisions about how they do that. And we do that sort of in 4 distinctive areas. Just quickly to outline them, we are very much involved in the street entrenched youth population and offer our Directions Youth Services downtown Vancouver. And that's really working with youth between the age of 13 and 25 who are street entrenched, living on the street, and being there for them in any way that we can. Our services are low barrier, which means that we support youth however they are. And that could come in the youth coming into our center who might be intoxicated or under the influence of drugs. It doesn't matter. We are there for them when they need. Our other program is around family preservation, family trauma counseling, and that's working with families and their children who have been through significant trauma. And that, again, can vary in providing counseling and support programs and education to meet them where they are at. Our third program is our Victim Services Unit, and we are embedded in both the Vancouver Police Department and the New West Police Department, as well as the Richmond RCMP, working with individuals who are impacted by domestic violence, sexual exploitation, counter-exploitation, and again, being there for those individuals and helping them find the way that they need to make decisions and get to be where they want to be. And then our fourth area is somewhat of a social enterprise area. We offer an employee assistance program, just like TELUS or Homewood. We are the largest EAP provider in Western Canada and service a number of different clients, ranging from government and municipalities to private businesses. And we are very proud of that program because we pride ourselves on being somewhat like a boutique employee assistance program where we really focus in on face-to-face meetings, again, being guided by the client in the support they need. And then our second social enterprise program, which is fairly new, but we just love it, is our financial literacy and poverty reduction program. And this really came out of COVID and our observation that people, no matter where you are in life, really finances are one of the factors that really can make or break an individual in their recovery through whatever that is, poverty, homelessness, trauma. And so we work very closely with a couple of partners who then we train the trainers around financial literacy. We offer one-on-one counseling for people We run support groups. We just do a number of programs to help people begin to understand about their finances and how they can get that to a place where they feel more empowered and confident to manage. That's really family services in a nutshell in terms of what we do as services.
That's quite a nutshell in some ways. I mean, what really strikes me is the scale and scope, the wide breadth of activities, the depth of activities that you're doing, and the sheer tenure. I mean, 100 years in the Lower Mainland and Greater Vancouver, that's quite a tenure and a lot to be proud of, that's for sure.
I like to say that it's like working at the Bay. Yeah. We offer a multitude of programs. The commonality, again, is that people are vulnerable due to trauma. We have over 400 staff. We are about a $30 million agency with revenue coming, both from government and fundraising, which is super important to us. But it's that diversity and that complexity which makes working here quite an amazing experience. And I know when I ask our staff, what is the number one reason that you work at Family Services? It's always the range of services we provide, the culture, and working with people and feeling like you're making a difference.
I was going to ask you that for that matter. What is your why, Maria, on a personal level? I mean, you've been in this sector for so long. We were just talking earlier, this is your fourth fall with Family Services now. So why do you do the work you do? What do you find most compelling?
Yeah, as a professional, I am a counselor and spent many years in counseling and working with a number of different populations. I think for me, what really draws me to this work is that every person has a voice and every person has desires and needs. And that doesn't change for a human, no matter what your situation is. And sometimes, though, because of circumstances that one can't control or one finds themselves in, it's really hard to find your voice. Yeah. And that gets even more difficult when trauma is involved and maybe you've never even been mentored or parented or guided to how you use your voice. And that is what really draws me to Family Services, because in everything we do, we always put the client first, and it's the client who sets the goals. It's the client who knows best. We are there simply to facilitate and help them move forward. It's not up for us to judge or say what is best for them. That's the wish of that individual, but we want to be there to help empower them. And that's really what makes me proud to be here, is that we work hard to give everybody a voice.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's excellent. I really appreciate that. And looking inwardly, I suppose, like you mentioned, talking to staff about the work culture, the work environment, I do want to pivot a little bit to the director role. So for a director coming in, what is the work culture? What is the dynamic like? What's it like within the organization as an employee, as a staff member, as a contributor and beneficiary of the culture?
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, as I've shared, it's a very large and diverse agency. And I think the overall umbrella culture, commitment and care, integrity, resilience, optimism, and absolutely justice and equity, that sits in the big umbrella. I think in each individual units, you will find those cultures might lean a little bit differently depending on the work they do. Some of our departments, like youth services, 24/7 services, this is tough work, right?
Yeah.
And that can be very draining on staff. And so teamwork and collegial relationships are all super important. I think coming into FSGV, you will see an amazing pride for the work we do. But you will also see a real diversity of how people are engaged with the agency. Some see their team very strongly. Some look at the agency in a big picture. And I think what I've learned, and really key for the director role, is to understand that and to learn how to, again, elevate the different priorities for the different teams. Yeah. So that while we all are sort of tracking toward the same common goal and the same culture, we all might do that slightly different. And it's really important to understand that of each team.
So one thing I want to pick up on before we get to the director, and it's some phrasing that you've used before to describe Family Services, which I quite love, is you're a large organization and broad in scope, large budget, but at the same time, you've got sort of a small warrior mentality, not a small warrior mentality, but you've got a warrior mentality within the organization of affecting change, the justice lens, the equity lens. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about that sort of piece, if you may.
It's a wonderful part of the agency, and it's a long time commitment that's really embedded in our staff. We have a staff justice and equity committee, which it's really important to us. It really is that our staff really appreciate and understand that, again, to support an individual is to understand their diversity and to help them establish for them what is their justice and equity. And so we try very hard not only within our way that we serve our clients, but just in the way we run our organization and our administration, even with our board, to try to always put a diversity and equity lens to everything and challenge ourselves. We all know we're on different journeys and come to different conversations in a different way. So we work really hard to create that space to have those conversations and recognize that this is really important. And I think, again, the size of the organization can make that challenging at times, but the individual commitment of staff to be committed to that is what's helping us slowly move that forward.
Exactly. Much like individuals are on their own journeys, organizations are on journeys too, fundamentally, when it gets down to it. Yeah, that's great. Let's pivot to the Director of Development then. Let's talk about fundraising and family services. What's on the horizon? What's exciting about fundraising and family services? You've alluded to a few things, so let's pull some of these threads together.
Yeah, fundraising is absolutely critical for our agency. I'm a firm believer in a nonprofit. You need a diverse range of sources of revenue. Absolutely. We are an organization that does a lot of services for the government. So probably 75% of our revenue comes in through government contracts and grants. But about 25% comes in through other grants and donors. And that's really essential. This is where we, get to reach out into the community and involve people. We also know that many of the programs that we run, we like to do them in a certain way. So as an agency, we take an approach where we are offering the services that we believe that help people, and then we decide or we figure out how much that costs, and then we go find the money to actually fund that. And sometimes that means that the government will fund and what we want to do don't align. So where a program might cost, let's say, $100, the program we want to offer might cost $120. So our fundraising then comes in to go raise that $20 so that we can still offer the program that we believe will serve our clients the best. And so fundraising has an amazing opportunity to be involved at every level in the agency. They have the privilege of hearing client stories and hearing staff stories, then taking that and translating that to donors and to grants and sort of igniting that spark. It's I don't think it's a secret if you go and talk to social service agencies that sometimes the general public, first of all, have a belief that the government should fund most of these services for people who are in poverty and street entrenched. And sure, I agree, but they don't. And we can't wait till they do. So we have to be proactive. And so sometimes, too, people are uncomfortable around people who are living on the street, who live in extreme trauma. And so it takes a really proactive and dynamic, yet very caring person in this role to be able to read the audience and understand how to find that, connect that catch to the donor who suddenly can see why they can make a difference and step in. And so it really is an exciting role for someone who really wants to roll up their sleeves. There are some programs we are looking to expand in the next sort of 1 to 3 years. Our youth service is one of them. And so this is certainly an opportunity for a person to come in and be a part of that. And I don't think it's any confidential to say we've just set up a really amazing relationship with Amazon as their actual first nonprofit in Western Canada. And so this is a beautiful opportunity with someone with some really creative ideas, with an international partner to come in and learn about the agency and really help elevate us to a level where we can still retain who we are, which is still a little bit of a quieter profile, but really build stability, reputation as a strong social service agency for the next 100 years.
Yeah, exactly. You might be quieter in the philanthropic space, but you're not at all quiet with your communities of service and the groups you work with and clients. And I love how you've described that rolling up your sleeves. It's really a building opportunity and leveraging the 100th, leveraging Amazon and so on. Sorry, I cut you off there. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. One thing I was thinking from the director role and just having had many years of working alongside some really great directors of fund development and revenue development in the sector, in our space, our clients don't want to be poster childs. They don't want to be the poster child abuse and neglect. And so, again, the creative way the fund development department has to approach showcasing the stories and the lives of our clients without showcasing the client, it can be a little different than often what you will see in the fund development space for nonprofits. But again, we are committed to not putting our clients in a place where they feel uncomfortable because, again, nobody wants to be in that place of darkness and have people sort of peek in at you.
Great fundraisers are often great storytellers. So you have to be very judicious and thoughtful about what stories you're telling while still conveying the impact, I think is really crucial fundamentally. That's great. So Maria, let's pivot a little bit here. This person's going to be working very closely with you, reporting to you as their lead fundraiser, your lead fundraiser, I should say. What is your leadership style and management style like? How do you envision working with this person?
I tend to be quite a casual, informal person. So I like to be involved in things. I am definitely a big picture thinker. I have lots of ideas. And so the person has to be used to hearing all my ideas, but not feeling obligated to have to deliver them. I am not the detail person. That I'm the person who's my team to figure out how to do it and the best way to do it and guide me on that. I do think it's really important, especially in this sector and FSGV, as we're building our reputation up and relationship. As this person and I envision, we'll be doing lots of meetings together, figuring out how we do that, keeping each other sort of informed, but also feeling quite comfortable and relaxed to not have to be tethered by details and criteria, but just really work together and find that relationship to be able to then create that confidence in our donors.
Exactly. We're looking for a subject matter expert here fundamentally that can guide and lead, but also work really closely with you and the team and the other members of the senior leadership group that can really contribute and listen and learn fundamentally. That's great. So just in summary, what are some compelling reasons for someone to come join you? Why do you think an experienced, successful fundraiser would want to leave their role and come join you?
I think it's an environment that has lots of opportunity for creativity. There is certainly no shortage of work and not necessarily the same work and sort of, just the same task over and over. There's lots of very exciting opportunities. It's a great team. We are a nonprofit, so we work really hard to take health and wellness and our employees' sort of enjoyment of their work environment seriously. So there's lots of flexibility. The senior team is a fairly new team, although most people on the team have been in the agency for a number of years. They've been promoted up. And so there's a lot of enthusiasm. I think it's just for someone who's really looking to make a mark in their career of something that is significant and can be really sort of highlighted as a turning point or a big monumental moment for an agency. The next, 2 to 5 years, 10 years at this agency will definitely provide that opportunity.
Exactly. There's lots going on. The horizon is really to be shaped here fundamentally for someone that wants to come in and bring their expertise and some best practices and learn in their own right, for that matter, in many ways. Excellent. Well, definitely, hopefully, we've conveyed the excitement of the opportunity, what the future may hold with family services and a new director of development. If anybody is interested or curious in learning more, I'm more than happy to chat with anyone at any point if they reach out. Christoph at thediscoverygroup.ca. Of course, there's a ton of information on your website as well, just covering some of the breadth and depth of the programs that you offer. There's lots to learn, but we don't expect this person to come in as an expert in family services necessarily. There's lots of time for somebody to get adjusted to. Again, really appreciate your help and support and looking forward to working with you and bringing some candidates forward, Maria.
Thanks, Christoph. I'm super excited as well.
Excellent. Well, looking forward to chatting with you again very soon.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye now.
That was today's installment of Opportunity Spotlight. If you or someone you know fits the bill and would be interested in the position, let us know. We're all about connecting the right people to the right role in the right organization. Tune in next time for more job opportunities right here on Opportunity Spotlight with the Discovery Pod.